Alright, so we're looking at the practice test that we did on Hotmaths, and we're just going to go through these answers quickly. So in the first question, it's a simple subtraction. So we're taking the top number, and we're going to take away the bottom number from it. So 1 take 1 is 0. 8 take away 9 we can't do, so we have to borrow. Alright, so there's our 18. 18 take 9 is 9. 6 take away 5 is going to be 1, and our 3 take 1 is 2. So that's our answer for that one. Let's go down to the next one. In using a calculator to find 87 take away 49, Brad pressed 87 take away 39, so he's put in the wrong number. What extra operation would get him to the correct answer? So he took away 39, he should have taken away 49. If he subtracts another 10 from whatever answer he got here, he's going to get the correct one. So D is our answer there. Question 3, the difference between two numbers is 41. So that means if we have two numbers, let's say we have our first number, which is A, and then our second number, which is B, the difference between those two is going to be 41. Okay? If one of the numbers is 54, what could the other number be? Well, if we've got 54, let's work it out. Let's add 41 to 54. We end up with 95. Here we've got 2 that are 95, so I would suggest that our answer is going to be A or B. Now let's go in the other direction. 54 take away 41. 4 take 1 is 3. 5 take 4 is 1, 13. So our answer there is A. Queen Victoria. Oops. Queen Victoria came to the throne of Great Britain on July the 20th, 1837. Her birthday was on May the 24th. She died at the age of 81 years in January in 1901. What year was she born, and how old was she when she became Queen? Now, if we do this from her death, so if we go 1901, take away the 81 years, it's going to give us 1820. Now you'll notice that there's no 1820 over here. What we do know is that it's not one of these two. We can rule out A or B straight away. The reason why there's no 1820 is because she was her birthday was in May. Okay, so we actually take an extra year off. What we need to work out though is what year she became Queen, whether that was 18 or 19. So we know it's going to be C or D, but we don't know if it's going to be C or D. So let's have a look. We need to work out how old she was when she became the Queen. So here she is, 1837. Okay, that's when she became Queen. And she became Queen on July the 20th. This is where dates are quite important because she was born in May. Okay, and she didn't become Queen until July. So let's start in 1819, okay, and work our way through to 1837. So in 20 she was 1, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So in this decade, she went from being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Let's start the next decade in which she does become Queen. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37. Now, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Now it's important that we count her birthday in this year because she wasn't coronated until July the 20th. So she'd already had a birthday. So that means our answer for this question is going to be D. Alright, quite a tricky one, that one. Two numbers have a product of 60 and a difference of 7. What are the two numbers? So what you can do here is you know that A times B equals 60. So you need to come up with some numbers. Alright, here are our numbers. 1 times 60 is obviously going to be 60. 7 times 49. Two numbers have a product of 60 and a difference of 7. 13 and 20, 5 and 12. So obviously these two numbers straight away, we can tell they don't have a product of 60. 7 times 49 is not 60. 13 times 20 is not 60. So it's got to be A or D. So that means that our answer is going to be D, because 5 times 12 equals 60, and the difference between those numbers is 7. Just clear this. Okay, evaluate. $83. $83 times 20. So let's set it out. You can do this a couple ways. Personally, what I would do is I'd go 83 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8 is 16. Then I would add back in my 0 that I took away. Okay, you can do it the same way. 0 and 0, add in the 0 for the next column. 6, 2 8 times 6, and you get the same answer. Alright, either way works, but that is our answer there. Let's have a look at question 7. Jacob was evaluating 2 times 17 times 5 by rearranging the factors as. Okay, so here are our factors. The reason why he's done this is it's going to make it easier. 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 times 17 is a simple multiplication to make 170. He was using one of these laws. Now, you do not need to know this for the test, so this question you don't need to worry about. Question 8. 8 times 9 equals 72. Evaluate 80 times 90. So once again, we can use the strategy that we used in question 6. We can go 8 times 9, and then we can add on, those 2 zeros. Okay, so 8 times 9, 9 times 8, 72. Okay, and then we add on our 2 zeros. So our answer for this is going to be 7,200. Next question, question 9. Use any method except a calculator to calculate 62 times 41. Alright, so here 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 6 is 6, put in my 0, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 6 is 24. We add them up. 2, 6 and 8 is 14. I hope you're all checking my calculations. Sometimes I do get things wrong. So that is our answer. 2542. Question 10. Once again, use any method except a calculator to calculate. So I'm going to use the algorithm, which we're all hopefully very familiar with. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus the 4 makes 60. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus the 3 makes 30. So our answer there is 3,000. Let's have a look at the next one. Let's get rid of that. Okay, which calculation tells us the value for the point A on the number line? So we've added 359, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So we're going to have to either add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not going to be it. 359 times 8. Nope. 359 times 6. Nope. We need to see. You don't even need to work that one out. You can just look at which answer it's going to be there. Okay, so we're looking at question 12, and it's asking for the multiples of 26 and 39. So let's start with the multiples of 26. So 2 times 26 is 52. 3 times 26 is 78. Now let's start up our list of 39. So 1 times 39 is 39. 2 times 39 is 78. So we've got our common multiple. Alright, so our answer is 78. Let's go down to the next one. A large rectangle was formed from 4 smaller rectangles. Okay, so here is our large rectangle. And then we've got our 4 smaller rectangles. And it says use the area of the large outer rectangle to find the combined area of the smaller rectangles. Alright, so we need to use the area of the large outer rectangle, so that's our large outer rectangle, to find the combined area of the smaller rectangles. So to find the area of a rectangle, we need to multiply the length by the width. So if we find the length, that length there is 150, and that one's there 50. Our width is 200 centimetres, and we multiply it by 238 plus 162, which is 400. So 2 times 4 is 8. Put in my zeros again. $80,000. So here, our width, which was this one, was 200. Our length, oh sorry, this should be the other way around, was 400. And our area is 80,000. Next question. Question 14, true or false? 6 minus 3 times 9 gives the same answer as 6 minus 3 times 9. Well, order of operation tells us we must do multiplication first, which is what those brackets are telling us as well. So that would be true, okay, because we have to do the 3 times 9 first anyway. If it was written like this, then it would be false, because we'd have to do the 6 minus 3 first. But because the brackets are under 3 times 9, it's true. Question 15, pretty simple one. It says 4 plus 2 in brackets divided by 3. So 4 plus 2 is 6. divided by 3 gives us 2 for that answer. Lily needed to complete 2 calculations, 7 times 5 plus 2 and 7 times bracket 5 plus 2. Select the correct statement. Both calculations will have the same answer or incorrect. The 2 calculations will have different answers. That one's correct. Because in this one you have to do the multiplication first, in this one brackets makes you do the addition first, which gives you a different answer. Question 17. So here we need to work out 2 sets of brackets. So 15 plus 9 is 24, divided by 8 minus 2, which is 6, and 24 goes into, 6 goes into 24 4 times. Question 18. Once again, we need to work out 2 sets of brackets. So 18 plus 12 is 30 times 56 minus 49, which gives us 7. Then we need to do 30 times 7. So you can just go 3 times 7, which is 21, and then add your 0 back in at the end. So our answer for that is 210. Question 19. Which 2 number sentences are the same? So let's have a look. 34 plus 21 times 13 minus 27. Okay, so order of operations would say that you have to do that first. Okay, which means that I can see already this one and this one are going to be the same, because in this one here the bracket says that we need to do this first, which makes them the same. Choose which of the operations, okay, so there's our 4 operations, can be put into the boxes from left to right to make the following sentences true. Alright, this one's going to be a bit tricky. Okay, so we've got to use all 4 operations, and we're looking at that order. So let's start with the first one, and with this one you can just guess and check. So it's pretty straightforward. So for the first one, 16 divided by 9, I'm going to say straight away I don't think it's that one, because I don't think that they're going to make the mathematics that hard in this question. So I'm going to go to the second. I reckon that's going to be a plus or a minus, and I reckon that's going to be a plus or a minus. So let's have a look to see if there's any pluses or minuses. B is, so let's try B. So divided by, minus, times, plus. So 16 minus 9 is 7 times 9 plus 4, we need to do that because it's in brackets. 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, now we need to do 14 divided by 7, which is 2, and 2 times 13 equals 26. So B is our correct answer for that one. Okay, so once again with this question we can just guess and check. So choose the order in which the numbers 4, 9, 16 and 24 should be put into the boxes from left to right to make the following sentence true. So our answer has to equal 4. So let's start with A. So here's our operation for these first two. 24 plus 4, which is 28. And then it's divided by 16, take away 9. Okay, so 16 take away 9 equals 7, and 28 divided by 7 equals 4, which means that A is our correct answer. Alright, so that's good. Next one, 9.9 times 2. Now, when we're multiplying decimals, you need to make sure that you remember you do not put the decimal point in your algorithm. We just remember how many decimal places there are in our question. And in this instance, there's one digit after a decimal point, so that means we need to remember one decimal place. Then we just do our normal algorithm. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18 plus the 1, which is 19. So we get 198. Now we need to put our one decimal place back into the answer. So there's our one decimal place, and our answer is 19.8. Alright, next question, another one. So this time we have two decimal places, okay? So 2 digits after the decimal point. So let's just set it out as per normal, which will be 1 times 8, which our answer would be 8. Now we need to put 2 decimal places in, except we've got no digits, so we need to create a few. So a couple of zeros to give us our 2 decimal, sorry, that is incorrect. We only need 2 decimal places, one of which will be that 8. So our answer will be 0.08. Okay. The next one, 1.6 times 1000. Okay. Here, because we're multiplying by a power of 10, we can just move the decimal place to the right depending on the amount of zeros that there are. So in this instance, there is 3 zeros. So we can move the decimal place once, twice, 3 times, and then add in those zeros. So our answer becomes 1,600. Okay, so pretty simple, that one. Question 25. 15.23 times a million. So once again, we can move our decimal point because a million is a power of 10. So let's just draw out a million. Okay, and a million has 6 zeros, so we've got to move our decimal place 6 times to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where my decimal point will go. Now I need to add in the zeros. Okay, so that will be my answer. That's a 0 there too. Okay, so let's have a look. We need 15, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, and there are our 3 zeros, there are our 3 zeros, 230, 230, 15, 15, so our answer is C. Let's have a look at 27. Okay. Oops. Let's get rid of those. Actually, we need to do 26 first. So find 2.4 by times 3 by adding 2.4, 2.4, 2.4 without using a calculator. So we can just set this out. Now, remember when we do addition, we leave the decimal point in. So 4, 8, 12, carry the 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 7.2. Just make sure you line up all of your decimal points there. Evaluate 0.05 times 3, 98 without using a calculator. So once again, take out the decimal places. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, which we will need to put into our answer. So now let's do the algorithm, which is big number on top times the other number on the bottom. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45, plus that makes it 9. 5 is 9, it's 15. Okay, now we need to put in our 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's my answer. 1.5990. Okay, next one. Calculate 0.1 times 0.2 times 0.3 times 0.4 without using a calculator. So this one's going to take quite a while. Let's just start off with looking at how many decimal places there are, and we can follow order of operations. So, first one, there's 2 decimal places in this first question. 1 times 2 equals 2. Now we need to put those 2 decimal places back in. So that's my 2 decimal places. We need to multiply this by 0.3. Here we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. 2 times 3 equals 6. I need to make sure I have my 3 decimal places in there, times 0.4. This question has 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. 6 times 4 is 24. Put in my 4 decimal places. So that there is my answer. Okay, question 29. Okay, so question 9. Millie bought 1.25 kilos of grapes at a price of $2.30. How much did Millie spend to the nearest cent? Okay, so here we can just do our multiplication. Okay, we can take out our decimals and count how many decimal places there are. So 2 there. And that's an interesting one because it has a 0 at the end. We don't count that one. Okay, but we do count the 3. So here we go, 125 times 23. 3 5s are 15. 3 2s are 6, 7, 3, 10, 4 is 5, is 2. Okay, so now we need to put in our 3 decimal places. Okay, because we had 1 there and 2 there. Now, here we have a number, 2.875, that what's wrong with it is that our dollars do not have 3 decimal places, okay? So we only need 2 lots of cents. Now we need to round it to the nearest cent. So this is a 5, which means that we go up, okay? So our figure becomes $2.88. Okay, so that's our answer. Question 30. 20.5 divided by 5. Because our divisor is a whole number, we can just do a division. So 20.5 divided by 5. 5 goes into 2 0 times, goes into 24 times. Our decimal always stays in the same place with division. 5 goes into 5 once. So our answer there is 4.1. Next one. 6.4 divided by 100. So when we divide by powers of 10, we can just count the zeros. In this case we have 2 and we make our number smaller. Okay, so that means that we move our decimal place to the left. Oops, so once, twice, put in our 0. That's where our decimal point lives now. So 0.064. Question 32. Okay, so question 32. 0.8 divided by 0.02 is the same as. So here In order to make this division work, I need to move my divisor 2 decimal places. In order to do that, I need to do it to my dividend as well. So I end up with 80 divided by 2, all right, which is B. Okay, so B is the answer for 32. In my next one, I need to do a division. Okay, once again here, my divisor is not a whole number, so I need to change that. So it'll be divided by 3. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same to my dividend. I had to move the decimal place once there, so I do the same to my dividend. Oops, I have put that in the wrong spot. So let's try that again. My divisor is going to be a 3. Okay, my divisor always goes on the outside. My dividend goes on the inside. So once again, move my decimal place once, the same as what I did to my dividend or my divisor, and now I can do the division. So 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 4 once, with 1 left over, 3 goes into 18 6 times. So that there is my answer, 31.6. Here, I need to find a number that I can divide 2.4 by to get the answer of 12. Alright, so my thinking is that if I divide it by 0.2, I should get the answer. So let's try it here. Let's make 0.2 a whole number, and let's make my dividend 24, because I need to do exactly what I did to my divisor to my dividend. So 24 divided by 2, what's happening? 24 divided by 2 is obviously 12. So my answer would be 0.2. Question 35. $884 divided by 52 equals 17. Therefore, 884 divided by 5.2 is going to equal, should equal 170. Okay, because our decimal place is moved across by 10. But we can check this. This is easy to check. We just make our dividend a whole number again. Okay, and then go from there. And when you do 2-digit division, it's a little bit harder, but the same principles apply. So 52 goes into 8 0 times, 52 goes into 88 once, okay, with 36 left over. And once again, you put the 36 here, okay, and then you need to work out how many times 52 goes into 364. Okay, which is, let me just see, okay, 7 times equally, and then 52 goes into 0 0 times. So there is our answer for that. Okay, what's that there? Okay, in question 6, it's asking us 93 divided by 0.1 equals 930 divided by 1 equals 930. So 93 divided by 0.1 is the same as multiplying 93 by 10. Okay, you can use this method to complete the following calculation. So all it's done is it's multiplied its original number by whatever tenth it is. So in this instance, it is a 10, so it multiplies it by 10. For this number here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits, which means that we're going to have to multiply it by 1 and then 4 zeros. okay? Which means we have to move that decimal place 4 times. Okay, we'll end up with 70300 as our answer. And we're obviously multiplying by 10,000. Okay, so that's 36. 37. So we've got the heights of 60 people were total to give 102.24. Find their average height. Okay, if I was to write an algorithm that looked like this, okay, although you can do it, it obviously makes it a lot more difficult. All right, what I can do is I can actually get rid of that 0, okay, and then I'm going to move my decimal place, okay, and I'm going to move my decimal place once to the left, okay. So 6 goes into 10 once. There's my decimal place. I have 4 left over. 6 goes into 42 7 times. 6 goes into 2 0 times. And 6 goes into 24 4 times, which gives me my answer. So my average height is 1.704 meters. Okay. Remember, when you're looking at average, okay, you add up the total and divide by the number of items that there were. Okay. So solve this equation. So x, there's a vinculum. A vinculum means divide. X divided by 100 equals 3. So something divided by 100 equals 3. So I'm going to guess that it's 300. 300 divided by 100 equals 3. And that is my answer. Remember, if the pronumeral confuses you, you can always just draw a box. Which of these is not an equation? So for you to have an equation, it must have an equal sign. So that has an equal sign, that has an equal sign. So A is not an equation. Quite a simple one, that one. Question 40. 2k plus 1 equals 9. Is this equation true when k equals 4? So I'm going to rewrite this and put in a box. Remember, when a coefficient is next to a pronumeral, it always means times. Then I'm going to put in the 4. 2 times 4 equals 8, plus 1 equals 9. So that means that it is true in that instance. Question 41. The product of two numbers is 36. If one of the numbers is 3, what is the other number? So I can just write it out like this. Product means times. So 3 times something equals 36. Okay, and you can guess and check. I'm going to guess 12, and 3 12s are 36. So that means that 12 is my answer. Solve this equation by inspection or using guess and check. So once again, if the pronumeral confuses you, you can rewrite it. When a number is right against a bracket, it means times. And you can put that in there too, if that confuses you also. Alright, so something plus 4 multiplied by 2 is going to equal 18. Okay, and here you can think of, okay, well, what number do you times by 2 to get 18? That's obviously 9. So we need to make this bracket equal 9. So 5 plus 4 equals 9, which gives me my answer. Okay. Here we've got a balance scale. Select the value of t that will make this equation true. Here are my 4 options. Remember to use your multiple choice, and you can basically guess and check with this one. So 2 times something is going to equal 20 take away 2 times something. Alright, so you can guess and check with these ones. I'm going to guess 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. Alright, remember your t's are always the same, whichever value you choose for it. So 20 take away 10 equals 10. So that means that C is my answer. Solve this equation and enter your answer as a decimal. So 10 times something equals 5. Well, 10 times 1 equals 10. So that means it needs to be half of that. So half of a 1 is 0.5. Okay, so 0.5 times 10 equals 5. Question 45, have a go at, have a guess, but you don't need to know this for your exam, so don't worry about it. 46, if b squared plus d equals 24, which of the following values could b and d have? Select all the correct answers. So 4 times 4 equals 16, plus 8 equals 24. A could be my answer. Okay, it is correct, so you should select that one. For B, 8 times 8 equals 64, plus 4, no, can't be B. C, 0 times 0 equals 0, plus 24 equals 24. So C could also be my answer. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 18 is 27. Can't be that one. So A and C are my answers there. Question 47. A equals 5 and B equals 4 and C equals 0. Therefore, A times B times C. So A equals 5, B equals 4, C equals 0. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 0 equals 0. Bit of a trick question, that one. So 0 is the answer there. 48. Using R equals 5 and M equals 8, find the value of 3R minus M. So 3 times R, which is 5, take away 8. Okay, 3 5s are 15, minus the 8 equals 7. Alright, just substitution there, pretty easy. If y plus z equals 20 and z equals 9, so y plus z equals 9 equals 20, what must y equal? Y must equal 11, because 11 plus 9 equals 20. So that's my answer. And then the last one, if R equals 0.5 and M equals 6, then R times M will equal R equals 0.5 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6, so half times 6 is going to equal half of that answer, which is 3. Okay, so I'm left with 3. And that's how you do that test.